Good evening, everybody. Yep, Sunday evening, and I am going to talk about Spider-Man Far From Home. That's right, this is, I do believe, the 23rd entry in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it will bridge the gap for, well, it will bring Phase 3 to a close, and we're about to embark on Phase 4. So, as I have put in the description, there are spoilers in this video, so obviously if you haven't seen Endgame or Captain Marvel, well, entirely up to you. Please stay watching, but if you haven't, turn away now. This is your warning, your warning and your final warning. So yeah. So Spider-Man Far From Home takes place straight after Endgame. The first thing, well, the opening scene does set up for everything going into the pre-credits. So like you see Agent Hill and Nick Fury investigating a wreckage in New Mexico, and then suddenly Mysterio appears, and it's a taste of what we're in for. So you got the pre-credit sequence, the Marvel logo. Straight away it says in memoriam, and of course most of this film is tributes to Tony Stark, because unfortunately met his end at the end of Endgame, and also they pay tribute to the fallen of Captain America and Black Widow. And then you go straight into sort of the familiar high school setup of Homecoming, and more or less, this film, I think in many ways is really quite goodly written. It definitely helps having John Watts back on board. John Watts, to me, I think is this generation's John Hughes. He writes really good teen films. John Hughes wrote some of the best teen films of the for 80s, and early 90s, and John Watts has become a master of his craft, in that. And he can, and it shows that he can handle of action as well. So more or less, the basis of Far From Home is Peter Parker still coming to terms of being an Avenger, Spider-Man, whilst trying not to juggle high school life. No easy feat. Well, obviously, I can make it sound like something like I do. No, of course not. Although, it would be lovely, it'd be brilliant to be a superhero as well. But that's another conversation for another day. But you've got most of the returning cast coming back, which helps them. So you've pretty much got the main bulk of the cast of Homecoming into Far From Home, and then you throw in the likes of Jake Gyllenhaal, Samuel L. Jackson, and Cobie Smulders, to fill up the Shield / operative side of everything. The lovely and beautiful Zendaya. It really expands her role in of MJ in this. Tom Holland and Zendaya, their chemistry is fantastic. Really good. Surprisingly, there was no mention of Liz Torres, the love interest from Far From Home. Of course, her story is still continuing. You would have thought they would have expanded a lot on that. Nothing. You've got a little side plot, a romance between Aunt May and Happy Hogan, which is interesting. But one of the main aspects of this film, which I thought was brilliant, was sort of it's coping with loss, because Tony Stark was a mentor to Peter Parker, and now Peter Parker is seemingly out on his own here. Big shoes to fill. Everyone thinks he's going to be the next Iron Man, where he just wants to be the next Peter Parker, or just the same old Spider-Man Peter Parker. So we go into the like more of like the plot. Turns out all these monsters are appearing all across the world, and then like this mysterious man called Mysterio suddenly shows up and just vanquishes like these monsters. Apparently, like he's working with Shield, and with Peter Parker, and the plan is like they want them to like team up to tackle like these monsters. Except, like Mysterio, it is all a illusion. So yep, the big reveal, and I'm actually glad like they did that, because you seeing the trailers, like Mysterio's a good guy. That's strange, because you know, like he's supposed to be a Spider-Man villain. Worry not, he is the villain of the piece still. So that is very welcoming. It's finally great to see Mysterio on the big screen after like many years of being touted, saying like we're going to go like Mysterio soon. It like never happens, and it's finally happened. And Jake Gyllenhaal is brilliant. To see him finally in the MCU is a big help. Jake Gyllenhaal, fantastic actor. So like to see him in this is brilliant. And turns out, what they've done here for like Mysterio, he is still a Spider-Man villain, but his backstory turns out he's a disgruntled. Well, he's many in a long line of disgruntled Stark Industries employees. You could write a catalogue list, the amount of disgruntled ex-employees in the MCU. And like at one stage, you sort of expected Sam Rockwell like to appear as Justin Hammer, say, like what about me? Like I was important too, like to have that. There was one scene like that I didn't sort of particularly like. Well, I won't say a whole scene, a bit part of a scene which I didn't particularly like. And it's very hard to say that you can have an over pantomime scene in a comic book film, let alone a MCU comic book film, but that's what it is. So the big reveal of who Mysterio is. Peter Parker gets given the glasses that Tony Stark was created in Civil War. Which controls all of Stark Industries tech. He passes them on to Peter Parker. So it's like the Friday suit or the Jarvis mind thing, but in glasses form. He's given them. Peter Parker adopts them. He gives them over to Mysterio, because he doesn't want to take the responsibility. And Mysterio finally gets his hands on them, because that was the plan all along. The plan was to recruit Peter Parker, to get it all in, create illusion, as Mysterio is the master of illusion. And when he's finally got his hands on Stark Tech, he literally is like, I am in control here. I have finally got everything I need. It literally was like that, and to me, I can't say that's too pantomime. Well, I can say it's too pantomime for a comic book film, because I know you're supposed to explain it like that, but I feel as though that was even too much, even for the subject matter. But that's mine. I grew up with that. I figured that could have been toned down a bit. Who knows? But overall, yeah, loved it. Loved Jake Gyllenhaal a lot in that. So when Peter Parker finds out his grand plan, he basically tries to stop everything coming in. Was literally he wants the tech to manipulate everyone. Long story short, Peter Parker comes and saves the day. Through drones. That's it. He Mysterio uses the Stark Industries tech, which controls loads of drones, to basically take down and kill loads of people in London. No, because that's what his plan is. Because the whole thing, with all these things happening all around the world, sort of it gives him the global grandstanding to say that yes, I'm going to save the day, but at the same time I'm all going to fool you because that's what I do. Peter Parker as well, throughout the film, wants to declare his love for Mary Jane. Sorry, I just said Mary Jane. It hasn't been involved. Not Mary Jane. She's MJ, but she's Michelle. So we don't know what the J is yet. I don't. At least I don't think so. Yeah. So they finally get together. Brilliant love there. So really happy with that. And then as it ends, it ends with Spider-Man feeling confident, so saying, yeah, I'm ready to be an Avenger now, as well as Spider-Man, and to live on my existence as a high school person. So I think I can juggle the balance if things are right, despite me missing Tony Stark, my family, and everyone. But I've got the girl now, so now I've got the girl, I feel a lot more happy and confident. And then there is the there are two end credit scenes. Number one, just before Peter Parker stops Mysterio, it's played out on a video. More manipulation and illusion by Mysterio says that I Mysterio, Quentin Beck, have been killed by Spider-Man. And of course, it exposed Spider-Man as someone that's a bad guy, and he was responsible for the drone attack. So somehow Mysterio, beyond the grave, has been able to turn all around on Spider-Man to say, yep, you're the bad guy. The drone attack was on you, and that. And what's even more brilliant, well, two things that's even more brilliant about this. It's the news report. A news report that's been advertised on a big screen in New York Times Square by the Daily Bugle. Of course, the Daily Bugle, a big Spider-Man artifact thing, referenced in Venom as well, so you can sort of see maybe where they're going here. And the news report is read out by none other than Mr. J.K. Simmons himself, James Jonah Jameson. I know. I couldn't believe it. The whole cinema screen was like, wow, James Jonah Jameson. So they might be going in that direction as well. You see, this is the brilliant thing about these pre-credit scenes. Is it going this way or is it going that way? Is it going up? Is it going down? Where is it going? So that is the most brilliant thing about it, I think. And then, sorry, just before it fades to black, to restart credits again, Quentin Beck, Mysterio says, not only did Spider-Man kill me, I know who Spider-Man is. Spider-Man is Peter Parker. So now everybody knows who Spider-Man is. It's Peter Parker. So where that's going to go as well is interesting. So the final end credit scene after the end credit scenes. Far From Home does bring back Colby Smulders and Samuel L. Jackson as Agent Maria Hill and director Nick Fury, respectively. That's what we're supposed to believe. Turns out, it's been the Skrulls all along on Earth. So, so we're expanding more with the Skrulls, who were introduced in Captain Marvel. By the way, the superior alien race, who are shapeshifters and manipulators. For instance, if there were Skrulls among us, you could say, is it me talking, or is this a Skrull up underneath here? There you go. So it turns out the Skrulls have been on Earth, whilst the real Samuel L. Jackson has been up in space, pretty much monitoring all life on Earth, as well as the extraterrestrials. So we go into more Space Guardians of the Galaxy territory. So Phase 4 is shaping up. Of course, that's the end of Phase 3 now. The next MCU film that will take part will be the Black Widow prequel, which will be out in May next year. yeah, hopefully a trailer for that will drop soon. That will get more insight to that. But overall, I thought Far From Home was really good. I do think I enjoyed Homecoming like just that bit more. I'm not really sure, but overall, I will give Far From Home a solid 4 out of 5. So yeah, really not really up there with some of like the really good like MCU films. I do think that sort of like the fact that there's a big gap between this and Black Widow like is needed, because already we've had 3 like MCU films this year. Like in March we had Captain Marvel, April early May we had Endgame, and now we've got Far From Home. So hopefully this break will be needed. Gives the MCU time not to recharge the batteries. Set out a plan for Phase 4, because it is not really clear what the plan for Phase 4 is yet. Like we know Black Widow's coming, but after that, sort of, you know, like some people say, oh, we're getting the Eternals, we're getting Doctor Strange, Black Panther 2, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, so many films, you know, it could even throw in like an X-Men Fantastic Four. We'll just have to wait and see how it all pans out. But I for one, I think the future of the MCU is massively bright and happy and great. So yeah, that's my review of Far From Home. I apologise if I've rambled a bit. You know, like, but of course, like I say, if you want to get like the full flavour, you've got to take it all in. So yep. Anybody wants to leave any comments, please do so below. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. I wish you a very good evening and a bright start to the week. Thank you very much. Bye bye.